Warhammer Workshop. My name is Amy, and from the distant shores of Cadia? No. Anyway, joining me is JF Dubo. JF, hello.
Hello, I'm from Canada. Close to
I was
Cadia,
so
but
close.
not quite split into pieces by the forces of the spoiler.
Yeah.
Although at last election, no, I didn't come close, but the threat was there.
Yeah.
So Amy,
Yeah.
you hear that?
Yeah.
Check it out.
Oh, snap. Those are upgrades.
Yeah, so for our listeners, I got my my Death Guard shoulder pads and heads for my Horus Heresy Death Guard, because why else? But yeah, no, I got them. I'm super
nice.
I'm super jazzed about it. I also got some Rhino doors, which come in a different package that doesn't say Horus Heresy. Well, it says Horus Heresy, but like with the old logo and information,
Yeah.
which makes sense. But also, it got me worried for a second. Like, are these
no,
gonna
did I
fit
order
on the
them?
new kit?
Yeah, no.
Like, are they kosher? Are they up to date?
Is it okay? It's fine.
I'm assume they are. And if they aren't, I mean, I'll
they got
convert them.
good.
I don't care. But I'm jazzed about it. I'm jazzed for Death Guard.
Excellent.
We'll talk about that later.
Excellent. So it's a light week in terms of numbers for pre-orders this weekend. We have the much anticipated Cadia Stands box, which we're going to talk about a little bit more later.
Very quick turnaround since like saying this is coming and then having it
they've
on
been
pre-order.
doing that fairly, like it's either immediate or it's 6 months. Like there's no in between anymore.
It's been mostly immediate, and
Yeah.
I think that's what they're aiming for.
Sure.
And I'm here for it. Like
Yeah, I'm not mad
we
about it.
get teased just enough, not too much.
Yeah. And we also have the Orc Goth Rocker, which you and I both received and we both painted, and it
Yes.
is a great little guy.
It's a great little kit. I do have one piece of disappointment for him.
Okay.
He doesn't have a scenic base. His base is just your
No.
standard flat beveled base. And yeah, I mean, for this kind of character, I'm kind of used to seeing the scenic base like we saw with the Red Gobo last year.
You're right. I didn't even really put that together, but you're right. We usually do get the scenic bases with those. I'm trying to think if the Bugman one from a couple years ago had a scenic base, and I don't remember. It's still in a box
didn't
somewhere.
Get that one,
I didn't actually build it.
So I have plans for mine, which I'm going to share because I rarely feel like I have good ideas, and I think this one is pretty rad.
This is a pretty good one.
So I'm doing Beast Snagas very slowly, but I am going to use him as my word boy on my kill rig. And I'm going to convert my kill rig to have speakers and amps.
Good. It's very good.
So that he's not just channeling the warp into psychic energy, he's singing it into being and just shredding psychic powers into existence.
I love it.
You know what?
That's a good plan.
It would not have come to me because like the whole thing about Beast Snagas is they have squigs everywhere, and he has a squig, and I painted him and the squig to fit my Beast Snaga, so it just
came together.
Yeah, it just has to happen now. Anyways.
So a few years ago, Louise converted an amp squig very much like this, and so I assume that this is at least partially an homage to Louise's madness. Yeah.
Imagine leaving your mark on the lore that way.
I love
it.
It.
It's cool.
Mine has a leopard print squig and purple zebra print pants.
I wanted to do zebra pants, but I think I stole the idea from you.
That's
but I
fine.
couldn't not do the zebra print, so I did his hat, and I'm very happy with how that came out.
It's very good. So he's a delightful little model. If you like those sort of standalone characters that are just so fun to paint because it's just one guy.
Other thing that disappointed me. Sorry, I'm just like I love him. I do love him. But the Red Gobo came with rules.
Yeah.
And he didn't, and I was really hoping for some special music rules. Now, that being said, now we've got him. We've got the Noise Marine.
Yep.
I think that the next models that we need an Eldar on keyboard.
Yep.
And we need a Tyranid warrior or Gene Stealer, something with 4 arms,
Yes.
on drums.
Yes.
On a massive drum set that is meant for 4 arms. And then we've got a band, and who doesn't want that?
I would be psyched. That would be so good.
Be so cool.
So dumb. There seem to be a lot of the orc special models that don't come with rules. I have a few of the different ones, and on both sides of Sigmar and 40k, and there are a lot of those like, here's your special orc. He doesn't do anything, but he is an orc. Thanks, guys.
And he is special.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. So, hot on the heels of the holiday model, we also got the previews of the big giant holiday battle forces.
Yeah, those are always something I anticipate with trepidation, even though I have, to this day, never bought one. I love that they exist, and I always want to buy one, but I haven't yet. Is this the year things change?
It could be.
It might be.
It could be.
For reasons.
So there's 8 on the 40k side and 7 on the Age of Sigmar side, and that's a whole bunch. I'm gonna run through them just real quick because there's a lot of good stuff in here. There's the Adeptus Sororitas Sanctum Guard, which are very cool. This one actually surprisingly tempts me because I have that original Sisters box, and so that and this put together would be pretty sweet.
And that is kind of the thing with these box sets, is that they're really good. Like if you bought a combat patrol and you need to, and you're bitten, you've got the bug.
Yeah,
they're a really good way to bring things up a few notches.
Yeah. We have the Custodes Watchers of the Gate, shiny boys.
Very shiny.
The Adeptus Mechanicus Elimination Maniple. I love me some AdMech, but I do not like Breachers and Destroyers, and so this box is not for me. But it's still a good box.
I adore Cataphrons, but I already have 12, so this box is also... I also have like a bunch of unpainted, well, half-painted AdMechs I should get to, so...
We have the Imperial Knights Chainbreaker Lance, which is 1 Knight Preceptor Canis Rex, and then 2 ranged Helverins and 2 close combat Warglaves.
Now, one of the things that's interesting about this box is that it is extremely versatile, because the Rex dude is like, basically he's a very versatile kit to begin with.
Right.
If you're good with magnets, you can probably have it change into different things, but otherwise you can pick any of the knights based on that chassis, and it's got the pieces in the kit.
Yeah.
So you're not chained to doing that character.
Right.
This is what I love about this box.
All right, the next 2 are, I'm going to say, a departure from the way the battle forces are usually put together. So we have 2 Chaos boxes, the Death Guard, Council of the Death Lord, and the Thousand Sons, Court of the Crimson King. And Death Guard comes with Mortarion, and the Thousand Sons comes with Magnus the Red, who did nothing wrong.
But here's where I'm going to contradict you, though.
Okay.
You're correct. This is a departure from how these battle boxes have been done in the past, but these 2 are not unique in that list. The Chainbreaker Lance comes with Canis Rex, which is a special character.
That's true.
The Elimination Maniple comes with
Belisarius
Caul. Belisarius Caul. They all come with a special character, a high-level special character from that army.
Yes, but I'm just saying that there's a difference between Caul and Mortarion.
You're
just
right.
On a
like
model
this
scale, like
they could have put Typhus in there to be on the same scale.
Yeah, exactly.
Typhus and Harriman, perfect replacements for the Primarchs.
No, this is very scary for me. Oh, I don't need any more Death Guard infantry, though. I have so much.
I do. So I've been doing. So I, as I said at the beginning of the show, I'm doing Dev Guard for 30K. I got some upgrades. I'm really jazzed about it. I can't wait to have the time to work on them.
Mm-hmm.
But because I have Resin Mortarion, which is very small and tiny and adorable, I also want to paint Giant Mortarion.
Mm-hmm.
And I figure as long as I'm painting Giant Mortarion, maybe I'm also going to do some Death Guard. And what a way to get everything I want in one box.
Yeah, it's a heck of a box. Because it's Mortarion, nice five Blight Lord Terminators, and 14 Plague Marines.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good start.
And I have very good top secret reasons why I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I did the math. Like this won't mean anything. This is monopoly money to our U.S. listeners, but it's a box with $319 Canadian worth of models.
I mean, that's significant.
Yeah.
And then the Thousand Suns one has Magnus, 3 Exalted Sorcerers, and 20 Rubric Marines. I really want it.
It's a $400 Canadian box
like
worth of models.
I'm not gonna get it, but I do want it. And then interestingly, no Ultramarines this go round. But we do have the Imperial Fists Bastion Strike Force and the Raven Guard Battle Force, with everybody's favorite emo boy, Caven.
So emo.
He's so emo. He cries at night, and that's very sensitive. So
I had a joke of bad taste, and I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot, man.
It's a lot, and there is, if you look on the website, like there is a design difference between the two Space Marine boxes and the other boxes.
Yeah.
And I've seen rumors floating that these were supposed to be released with some supplements or something else, which I feel is possible. Maybe there's other reasons for it that we'll learn in the future.
Sure.
It's difficult to tell, but
maybe it's just
knowing
Space Marines. You know.
Maybe. But knowing how usually these boxes are really good deals to get models for far cheaper, wow, it's exciting. It's a problem.
Yeah. But of course they're not limited to the 40K side. Age of Sigmar. All right. So obviously, as we have mentioned more than one occasion, we are less familiar with the Age of Sigmar side of things. But there's a lot. There's one box in particular kind of has my attention. All right, so we have the Daughters of Cain, Canaanite Slaughter Coven, which is very cool. I like these. Seem to have a little more variety than the 40K boxes do. Like you seem to have fewer models of different kind, like fewer models but more kinds of models than a lot of them.
They do, and they seem to be trying to also follow the special character centerpiece, which a bunch of other things, but less focused and completely committed to the named characters.
Yeah.
Although we have a few.
So notably, the next box is the Auric War Clans, which are the Cruel Boys Swamp Lurkers, and those are like. Most of this box is the stuff that didn't come in the army box. This is like, and the rest. If you bought the army box, this is like.
We're talking about like buying the Dominion box.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
Yeah, this is like the other stuff that came out, and then you're like, oh look, now I have it all. So
if you're finally done painting what was in your Dominion box after all this time,
no, I'm not.
And you're looking to, I couldn't.
I do love that big bad vulture. It's so good.
It's one of those models that I find really cool, but I'll never be in a position to paint it.
Put it on your Golden Demon list. That's just where all those models go.
No, because I'm intimidated by it too.
Oh, all right. And then per usual, I feel like this is like a constant. Is the Gloomspite Gits Stampeding Squigalanche, which is most notable for having 2 Mangler Squigs in it. two
I
mangler
want
squigs.
this box for
Let me
no
tell
good
you,
reason.
the number of squigs I have in this house right now is appalling. I have the two halves of the when they put that box out with the Sylvaneth.
Mm-hmm.
I have the whole box and I have an extra squig half. So I have there's a lot of squigs in this house.
I want this. I don't play Age of Sigmar. I want to. I have plenty of models to work on. I'm already like my schedule is already absolutely bonkers.
But
And yet I want this box. I want to buy it and get through it in 2 or 3 weeks. Like I want to storm through that box and just go from purchase to having a bunch of squigs as fast as possible.
So you're saying you would like a stampeding squigalanche?
I want a stampeding squigalanche and I want to stampede through it.
Excellent.
It's
all right. So this is the one for me though. All right. Is the Skaven the Verminous Host?
So many models.
It's so many models.
Box.
Oh my god, it is so many models. All right. So you have the Grey Seer on the Screaming Bell, which can also be built as a Plague Priest on a Plague Furnace. Fine. Great. Beautiful model. Warlock Bombardier. Fantastic. 3 Storm Fiends. We know all about those.
We have played Vermintide, and
we're intimately
the very
familiar.
sight of the model sends a shiver down my spine.
Yeah. 40 clan rats and 40 plague monks.
It's absurd.
It's so many models.
This is the kind of box that would have been just a nightmare, a ridiculous, unmanageable nightmare before contrasts, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that new. There's a. Ooh, I think it even has Skaven in the name, or Dinge or something. New contrast paint, A+ for this project. Love that one.
It's because you can buy a couple of different browns and maybe a couple of grays, and then you can do all different furs very quickly and easily.
Yeah, you're not obligated to make them same.
No.
We have the Nighthaunt Legion of Grief.
Oh god damn! This is a beautiful box.
It is a beautiful box.
Maybe I do too much 40K, and I went through the 40K box and I went, oh, those are nice. They're all cool. But there's so many of the Age of Sigmar ones that are just so good.
I've got to have 3,000 points of Nighthaunt also. I own so much Sigmar, and I just don't.
I don't own that much. I have a potentially decent Sylvaneth force.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Spider Riders. They're all painted. I would just need to rebase them. And I am seriously considering doing it.
Yeah.
Because they're not super well painted, but they're a good tabletop quality.
Yeah.
But they're lava themed. And the only thing they're missing really is new bases and a little bit of airbrush for some OSL, and they will pop.
Nice.
So
it's gonna happen at some point.
It's gonna have to. The worst thing is, like, this is a week's worth of work.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If that. Yeah. Like it's painting a lot of bases, but they're just bases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Legion of Grief is pretty great. Lady Oleander, the Black Coach, 10 Bladeghast Revenants, 10 Dreadscythe Harridans, and 10 Grimghast Reapers.
It's a pretty box. It's another one that just kind of floors me with like, oh, I really want that. Yeah. But
I have Lady Oleander. I've bought her twice now, so
I bought her once, and I did a conversion that I gave to someone.
And then I the Black Coach I love, though. Speaking of Sylvaneth, we have the Revenant Wargrove, which has Dryka, who's very good, with 2 Tree Lords.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 10 Branch Revenants, or Spite Revenants, I mean.
And then 16 Dryads.
Now, you know the saving grace for this box is that because it comes with Dryka, and I have an unpainted Dryka, I'm not gonna buy it.
You're cool.
Like, it rules it out. Like, this is not a problem. I'm not even tempted.
Stormcast Eternals have the Thunderstrike Spearhead, which has a bunch of dudes, but more importantly, 2 Storm Drakes.
Yeah, not enough Drakes, in my opinion.
No, if it was an Oops All Dragons box, then I would be
I
concerned.
would that right in my pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So
that's a problem. Like right now, I'm looking at this, and my reasonable thinking is one from AOS and one from 40K, and that is not
that's not
reasonable
reasonable. None
by
of that is
any normal
reasonable.
standard.
No.
But here we are.
Yeah. We didn't get my predicted. I didn't predict it, but I thought it would be nice. If we got a box of Curse City expansion models. I thought that would be nice, but they didn't do it.
But that might be a different thing for later.
It could be, but it's like about the same size, really, when it comes down to it, as one of these. So,
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Be ashamed to see those molds go to waste.
It would. We got a couple more quick previews before we get back into the Astra Militarum. We have three new models, and they're all one kit, I believe, is what it said. Yes, new kit, 3 models. For Necromunda, they call them hanger-ons. Hangers on. That's it. That you can hire to help you get what you need most. And so there's a relic monger, purveyor of dubious religious artifacts, the gunsmith, who can unsurprisingly source you anything from a stub pistol to a las cannon, and the beast wrangler, because you never know when a semi-domesticated sump croc might come in handy. That one's my favorite. I saw somebody digitally painted up as Cruella de Vil, and I was on board.
Yes, there are very few Dalmatians left in the Underhive.
The relic
they
guy
are
is terrific.
all pretty, dude.
They're so good.
I love how the beast wrangler is wearing sump croc boots while holding a sump croc.
Yep. And his coat is some kind of fur. And he has definitely had a run in. Like, he's missing an eye. He's got scars all down one side of his face. He has had a time.
Like, this is not Steve Irwin.
No, and he's got a crate that he's got his foot on, like a tactical crate on it, and there's a tentacle coming out of it, and it's very good. I don't know what that is, but it's good.
It's very nice. The relic hunter is the one that looks the creepiest, and I feel like if I want to paint one, that would be the one to just. You paint him up, put him like in a corner, like hidden in the shadows of your decor for Necromunda, and just leave him there. Don't even play with him. Just he's there, he's hanging out.
We also got a quick preview of some more of the Cities of Sigmar stuff. Again, it's another like bits and pieces one. We got some shields, which are gorgeous. The sculpting they're doing with chainmail is crazy. Like they said that these are armies that have money and are proud of it, and that is something that's really fun to see, because like the Stormcast Eternals are very pretty, like but this is ostentatious. I love it. I'm excited.
A lot of filigrees and
so
little details.
Yes. So yeah, that's. I don't normally go for humans, but it's pretty great stuff. So,
to me, what makes or breaks armies like this is their centerpiece model.
Yes.
Are they cool or are they cheesy?
Yeah.
And we're not far enough or close enough to a proper release to know.
No.
But they do seem to be putting in a lot of care into the Cities of Sigmar project. So I'm curious to know where that's going to go.
Yeah. What we do know where it's going, however, is the Astra Militarum.
Do we ever?
40K side. So, as we know, that comes out for pre-order the day that you are listening to this. GW was kind enough to send us Cadia Stands boxes. And we've got feelings about this.
All right, so there's some surface level things that bother me to begin with.
Okay.
We've already seen a sort of relative slide towards less, move away from the faction with 6 sub-faction structure
Right.
that we're kind of used to seeing.
Yeah.
We've seen that departure a lot, specifically like the 5 factions or weird pseudo factions for the demons, the only 5 factions for the League of Votann. But the Astra Militarum seem to be completely foregoing sub-factions as a rule, which is, I believe, is going to be a bit of a disappointment, because I assume that most Imperial Guard players were looking forward to 6 sub-factions based on your regiments. Like here's your Death Corps sub-faction, here's your Catachan sub-faction, etc., etc., and you're not exactly getting that.
Yeah, so like where with demons, what they said was, well, you can take any of the ones you want. That's fine. You don't have to stick to one. This one, they're like, no, it's just all of them. You don't have.
Yes.
You don't have one.
Now, to be fair, you can go all Death Corps, because there is a unit of Death Corps, and it's a troop choice, and they do have their own Death Corps rules. Same can be said for Catachan. Same can be said for what is it, Acadians, I guess. So, and most of the HQs, except those that are specifically themed to one of those regiments, aren't regiment specific either.
Right.
Neither are any of the vehicles or tanks. So you can just say, all right, well, I'm going to take this generic HQ, get all my troops be Death Corps, put them in a bunch of tanks, and paint all of it in Death Corps color, and this is a Death Corps army, and it will have a little bit of that character, especially if you choose the proper regimental orders that go with it.
Right.
But it's not the same as having a dedicated sub-faction with an overarching special rule for the entire sub-faction.
Right.
So I'm not enough of an Imperial Guard player to be upset, and I don't know quite well how that's going to be received.
Right.
But it feels like a little bit of a cop-out, and I get why they would do it. Like they're not going to do a full plastic army for each of these sub-factions. That would be absurd.
Right.
But still. Also, they changed the structure of the book, where the Crusade rules are after the data sheets.
Yeah.
It's a nothing. Like this is a potato problem. Like it means nothing. No one cares. Like the rules are still there. They're still easy to find. It's just an annoying sub detail, I guess. I'm not pissed about it. I'm just not thrilled.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Sorry, go ahead.
You did also find a notable missing item from the codex that you were hoping was going to be there.
Yes, and that is one of those things that's kind of an annoyance to me, specifically because we recently-ish got a Kill Team Into the Dark, which comes with a very specifically Imperial Guard type unit, which is not Imperial Guard because it's the Navy Breachers. All right, sure, fine. They're not Imperial Guard, but then again, the Scions are not necessarily Imperial Guard too, although they have the keyword. So I was kind of hoping we'd see that unit in there as some kind of elite choice, or maybe a troop choice, and they have special rules to say, like, yeah, the Navy is lending us some breachers the same way they lend us Valkyries.
Right.
No, nowhere to be found. Don't know what's going on with them. They have their sort of quote-unquote terrible rules from the PDF if you want to play them in 40K, but not exactly attractive.
Right.
And not easy to add to an Imperial list. Like, you can't just say, this is going to be my troop choice, and I'm like theming my army around that. You can't do that. They have rules that say that they can't be your only troop choice.
Right.
So it's kind of depressing. I know a lot of people were very angry that Yarrick is not going to be in the codex, and no, he's not in the codex. I'm hoping that we're going to see him come back in some weird fashion, like a legend, or they're going to bring him his own storyline to say, oh, this is how Yarrick is still alive 100 years in the future, because he's still angry at Gasgul Tlaka.
Right.
Or not. We'll see. But I admit that it is kind of weird to see an Imperial Guard Codex without Yarrick. They did add Gaunt's Ghosts.
Yep.
That's neat.
Yep.
Although theoretically they should also be dead of old age at that point, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Time's a flat circle.
Yep.
It's the rules on a unit to unit basis do look kind of cool. The Death Strike rules for that massive tank that can the Death Strike missile tank has some very neat rules. Like on the website earlier this week, they showed us like the Godspear warhead, but there's 2 other warhead. One of them being a Vortex warhead that just stays there.
Yeah.
It just remains on the battlefield.
It's just there.
It's a lot of mortal wounds going on there. Like you can, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, that can be 16 mortal wounds onto a unit. It's nasty. And each of those regimental units have their own special rules that are fun, and they're like, you'd think like, oh, Katakan jungle fighters, they used to have their own special rule that was specific to forests, the same way Crude had.
Yeah.
But no, like they're basically, whenever they do a melee attack on an unmodified roll of 6, it counts as an additional hit.
Right.
And you know, just to show how savage they are in close combat.
Right.
And that all works. It's all neat. It's just the way it comes together.
Yeah.
Feels too different.
Sure.
And maybe that's good, or maybe it's not. It's just a little difficult for me to. I guess I'm expecting, because this is one of the last codexes to come out from the regular run of armies, that Imperial Guard players are going to be extra critical, justifiably so.
Yeah.
And because it's so different, because it doesn't deliver on the sort of soft promise of what they've done with other codexes before,
right,
I'm wondering how they'll react. And usually I'm one to jump to the defenses of Games Workshop on a lot of immediate outrage, but I'm gonna have a hard time rationalizing, being pro Games Workshop on that one.
Yeah.
At least until like the dust settles and I can get like a calm, rested opinion from Imperial Guard players.
Right. Exactly.
Because I have a feeling they're going to be upset on the launch, and I'm not going to be in a position where I know the army enough to say, now, calm down, it's not that bad. I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, definitely been waiting for this one for a hot second.
I was, until I noticed I can't play the breachers I've been accumulating the way I wanted to, and now you
have so many breachers.
It's fine. I'll find a use for them. They're cool models. I'm going to enjoy my Navy breachers no matter what.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good.
I guess it's just that I was hoping that with a new codex and these new models, that finally, after 20 plus years, Imperial Guards would finally be for me. And
still not.
I went back and tasted blood sausage once more, and it's still gross.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I think that about wraps up everything for this week, don't you?
I think we've gone around the table sufficiently.
Fantastic. We'll be back for more Warhammer chit chat next week, and in the meantime, happy hobbying. Materials shown in this video are provided fully or in part by Games Workshop for promotional purposes. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping us a like and subscribing. Thanks for watching.